Sinisterism is about finding the primal aspects of the left-hand path, primal in history, primal in the psyche, thus obtaining truth. Thomas Leroy.
Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to your dose of sinister heathenry. But for those new to the channel, I'm Thomas Leroy, founder of the International Left-Hand Path organization, the Sect of the Horn God. The Sect is an educational foundation created to not only make those with the black flame aware of its glow, but to also restore the shadow aspects to the ancient gods by going deep into the past, not only historically, but also psychologically. For the primordial depths of the psyche are limitless. So, if this sounds interesting, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, join the organization, the Sect of the Horn God, at the link down below. Thank you. In mythological traditions, one of the most common themes is the battle between the Sky Father gods and the chthonic deities. This battle reflects the dual nature of human existence, the struggle between order and chaos, reason and emotion, and from the Nietzschean perspective, the Apollonian versus the Dionysian. Now, Sky Fathers are associated with life, light, the heavens, order, law, and civilization, while the chthonic deities embody the untamed chaotic forces of nature, death, darkness, and the earth. But there is an example of a chthonic deity who usurped the position of Sky Father, bringing his darkness with him. First, though, we'll go more into what exactly a Sky Father is. As stated, the conflict between the Sky Father and chthonic gods is a reoccurring theme in many mythological traditions. This dichotomy represents a fundamental opposition between the celestial and the earthly, the ordered and the chaotic, the light and the dark. Understanding this mythological battle involves exploring its manifestations in various cultures, the symbolic meanings behind these deities, and the broader implications for understanding the cosmos and the human condition. Sky Father gods are typically associated with the heavens, the sky, and the upper world. They often embody order, authority, justice, and the divine right of kings. These gods are frequently depicted as rulers of the pantheon, possessing immense power and wisdom. Their domain includes the weather, the sun, and other celestial phenomena. There are many different examples of Sky Fathers in the various mythological traditions, such as Dyaus Petar, the most significant deity in the Proto-Indo-European pantheon. Another example would be the Greek god Zeus, king of the gods, ruling from Mount Olympus. He wields the thunderbolt and is associated with justice, law, and order. Jupiter, similar to Zeus, is the king of the gods in Roman mythology, associated with sky, thunder, and justice. Perun is a central figure in Slavic mythology, revered as the sky father god and the chief deity of the Slavic pantheon. From Mesopotamia, there's Anu, the supreme god of the sky and the heavens, representing authority and control over the universe. Among the Mongol and Turkic people, the chief deity of their pantheon is Tengri, the great god who created the universe. And, of course, there's the most well-known of all the sky fathers, Yahweh. Yes, Yahweh, the God of the Bible, has many characteristics typical of a sky father, such as holding the position of supreme being, creator of heaven and earth, and ruler over all creation. He's also a God of order, justice, and law, for he gave the Israelites the Torah to establish a just and orderly society. These are examples of sky fathers, but what exactly is a chthonic god? The chthonic deities are connected to the earth, the underworld, and the subterranean realms. And they are, in many cases, horned gods. These deities are often linked with death, fertility, the afterlife, and the mysteries of the earth. They represent the primordial abyss, primal forces of the natural world, transformation, and the cyclical nature of life and death. In ancient Greek mythology, there's Hades, the god of the underworld, ruling over the dead and the earth's hidden wealth. But there are others in the Greek pantheon, such as Pan and Dionysus, gods with a distinct connection to the left-hand path. In Slavic mythology, there's Veles, the god of the underworld, cattle, commerce, and magic. As a chthonic deity, he embodies the mysteries and powers of the earth and the underworld, playing a crucial role in the spiritual and cultural life of the Slavs. In Mongol mythology, there's Erlik Khan, a Satan-like figure from the underworld who illuminates his hellish realm with a dark light that shines upon the enslaved souls who failed to perform ritualistic sacrifices to him. And, of course, there's Satan. Satan can be viewed through the lens of the chthonic god, although this interpretation is more nuanced than the others. From a literal Christian theological perspective, Satan is associated with hell, an underworld realm where he presides over the damned. This is a characteristic of chthonic deities, who are typically linked to the underworld and death. Satan embodies chaos, rebellion, and an opposition to divine order, reflecting the chthonic archetype. His role as a tempter and deceiver align with the chthonic theme of transformation and the shadow side of human nature. The chthonic deities represent the unknown primal instincts that lie beneath the surface of civilized life. In the conflict between the Sky Father and chthonic gods symbolizes a fundamental duality within the human psyche. From a psychological perspective, this battle represents the interplay between the conscious and unconscious mind, order and chaos, rationality and instinct, and the quest for balance within the self. Carl Jung believed the process of individuation or self-realization involves integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. One could say the shadow is reflected in the chthonic deities, while the conscious ego is represented by the Sky Father gods. Thus, the battle between these deities symbolizes the inner struggle to achieve psychological wholeness. This has, though, led to a need for equilibrium in the collective consciousness of the Western world, with the Abrahamic emphasis on the light or the Sky Father. But there's one chthonic deity that became a Sky Father, he who is the greatest of all the Western left-hand path gods. Even though some traditionalists would claim Odin as being of the sacred solar order, he is not. He is of the lunar and the chthonic, proving that one can utilize the darkness to achieve the highest of the highs. To understand Odin's role as a chthonic deity, we have to delve into his origins. And this brings us to Vodnaz, or Wodenaz, however you want to pronounce it. Vodnaz is a Proto-Germanic god traditionally associated with wisdom, war, magic, and fury, recognized as the precursor to the later Germanic Wotan, the Anglo-Saxon Woden, and of course the Norse god, Odin. But viewed through a chthonic lens, Vodnaz is a more complex entity that underscores its connections to the underworld, death, and the hidden mysteries of existence. Like his later counterpart, Odin, Vodnaz is closely connected to the realms of the dead. Just as Odin presided over Valhalla, where slain warriors are received, Vodnaz too was involved in guiding and ruling over the dead. His connection to death is evident in his role as a psychopomp, a guide for the souls traveling to the afterlife. The pursuit of wisdom and esoteric knowledge, often acquired through dark and sacrificial means, it is a defining trait of the Vodnaz-Odin archetype. The myth of Odin sacrificing himself on the world tree Yggdrasil to gain the knowledge of the runes is a reflection of this. And, by the way, the tree itself is a chthonic symbol, with its roots delving deep into the earth and the underworld. The Vodnaz-Odin archetype is also associated with Seder, a shamanistic magic practice amongst the Norse, specifically the women. This type of magic involves communication with spirits, divination, and the manipulation of fate in the chthonic realms, mastery of such leading to control over life, death, and destiny. The chthonic aspects of the archetype are honored through rituals that involve sacrifice and offerings to the dead. These practices aim to secure his favor and protection, particularly in matters related to death, the afterlife, and the acquisition of hidden knowledge. But, one may ask, how did this dark god become a Sky Father? It's said he became the king of the gods after the Germanic Tiavaz, a precursor of the Norse god Tyr, offered his hand to be bitten off by the great wolf Fenrir. You see, the gods had sworn an oath to the Chaos Wolf, and the guarantee to follow through with their pledge was his hand. So by allowing the wolf to claim his limb, Tiavaz fulfilled the god's end of the bargain. But a maimed leader is not fit to be followed, especially within a warrior culture. Now, understand that the gods reflect society and society reflects the gods. So this brings us back to 2,000 years ago to Northern Europe, where the Romans were on a path of conquest, trying to take dominion over the lands of the Germanic tribesmen. The power of Rome was unlike anything the German warriors had ever dealt with. So not only did their tactics need to change, but the underlying societal current had to also. Even though Tiavat, his origins as a sky father date back to the Bronze Age and the Proto-Indo-European Yamnaya culture, he now wasn't fit to fulfill that role. They needed a whole god, a darker god, one of magic, madness, and wrath. So Vodnaz was positioned to replace Tiavat. We can only guess as to when exactly this great cosmic shift occurred, but it seemed to have worked. In the year 9 AD, at the Battle of Teutoburg Forest, the annihilation of 3 veteran legions at the hands of the Germanic tribesmen shook the Roman Empire to its core. Over time, this powerful cult of the god of wrath and magic spread throughout the Germanic world, leading to his many incarnations. But even in the position of Skyfather, Odin didn't lose his sinister attributes. This is reflected in his many tales in which he longed for esoteric knowledge, reverting to diabolical means to achieve his goal. A very left-hand path goal. For Odin, hanging from Yggdrasil is an obvious quest for knowledge and a journey of self-deification. Sacrificing himself to himself and not a greater god, enduring immense pain, suffering, and eventual death, Odin is reborn, gaining profound wisdom and greater magical power. This mirrors the left-hand path's emphasis on transformation through personal ordeal and the rejection of conventional limitations. Thus, he is the supreme archetype of the enlightened individual by transcending conventional morality and the norms of the status quo. This is the self-centered god, the god of personal mastery over one's destiny, not the shining beacon of authority, guidance, and structure that is the standard Skyfather. Odin does not radiate white light, but instead radiates an ebony illumination, not from a celestial source, but a chthonic one. One called the Black Flame. So, in conclusion, my friends, as I stated, society reflects the gods and the gods reflect society. But the gods also reflect aspects of the individual human psyche, and if Odin, utilizing the sinister path, can reach his highest potential, then who says you can't? Also, what other chthonic entities would you like to see usurp the position of Skyfather? I can think of one. Leave your comments down below. Until next time.